Hi guys and girls, welcome back to the time check. So we're doing it on Saturday. This will be the main day we do it. It will alternate sometimes depending upon availability of myself and Adrian, also our special guest. And today we've got Troy, the board watch collector. Fortunately, he's been good enough to say that he'll come on this way, yeah, that way. Obviously, we've got Adrian in the middle, my main man, and then there's obviously me. The reason I'm wearing a hat is because I shaved all my hair off. So let's get the elephant out of the room straight away. So today what we're going to do the normal thing. We're going to do a few questions. We'll do some risk checks in a moment. We'll go for a few questions, and then we'll open it up to everybody to ask a few questions. Keep it PG clean though. We don't want anything that's not suitable for children, because children may watch this. But I'll pass the floor over to Adrian, say a few words, and then we'll crack on.
Okay, yeah. Hello and welcome, and thanks, Troy, for joining us.
No worries,
really cool. Thanks for giving up your time. I mean, traditionally we will start with a wristwatch check. Oh, by the way, Simon's got a hat on because he's lost his hair. I've got headphones on to keep mine under control.
I told you that was a secret.
It was, yeah. So yes, Troy, what are you wearing today? What is your wristwear?
My Axios, the Pathfinder.
I told you that
just arrived this week. It was the first Kickstarter I backed, and
nice.
The salmon dial I fell in love with. So there it is. There we go.
Nice. Tell us a bit about it. What kind of is it? What's in it? Yeah. What movement?
So what drew me to it was the salmon dial. I love salmon dials, and they seem to be really hard, obviously, to get hold of. You've got your sapphire crystal, mill clasp. Each link on the bracelet is solid. I'm going to bring it up closer to the camera. There we go.
Cool.
It's the same company as Zelos, isn't it? That made
Well, I think it's a sister company, but I think Elshan, because his name was on the warranty card. Obviously, he owns Zelos. Yeah. But I actually prefer this brand than Zelos, to be honest.
Really? That's a strong flavor.
Well, I've never owned a Zelos or a Zelos, whichever way you want to say it, because I find their designs just too big, bold, and in your face. I do like the vintage inspired. So obviously their dive watches I've seen featured. Yeah. Which one? That's like the flagship and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. But this was an absolute bargain. I think it worked out like 185 on Kickstarter, 185 pounds. I had 50 quid duty, but it's just the thing just feels solid. It's just a great watch. Really.
NH35.
NH35, yeah.
So it's got a ghost position on it then.
Yeah. Actually, good point. I haven't checked that. Let me just find out for you. So we got it's screw down. Yeah, ghost position. Yeah,
that's quite common at the moment. A lot of companies have been calling Sam Martin out for that, actually, with the NH. Because the thing is, I think for a company that runs a lot of the no date watches, I think it'd be an investment to get NH38 in. Because when you run so many, do you understand what I mean? Not just
agreed.
But when you run so many watches that have no date, I think it'd be an investment to get NH38 in.
Well, it's instantly going to go up in value because of the shortage as well. So there we go.
To be honest, mate, your movement's going to be worth more than a watch soon if it carries on.
I reckon it will be. But I was doing a custom build. I was trying to do it for my father-in-law as a wedding present. I got married in September, and I messed it up. I ruined the movement. I wrecked the dial. And then I'm looking at the price of the movements now. I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is not going to happen just yet. I'll wait for them to come down a little bit more.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like I said, I think I was talking to another YouTuber. He told me that a Malaysian factory or something closed. So now the movements have become a bit sought after, and that's why they've gone with a lot of Miyota movements in their watches at the moment, especially on AliExpress. I think it's quite rife. But yeah, I mentioned to you the other day, I do quite like the look of that Axios. I was looking at a couple on eBay. And I was looking maybe to get one in. I like the green one. I'm a bit of a sucker for a green watch, man.
Green dials, yeah. I'm with you on that.
And I like the mottled effect on the dial as well.
I always say on all my videos, I absolutely just love the dials. The dials for me, just if there's any texture or anything like that, I just fall in love with it. But yeah, you're right. It's I can't remember what they call it. They call it like a mottled brass or something on their website. So obviously they're promoting the fact that it actually has that texture. But I think they've got a meteorite one as well. I've just saw on their website.
Never had meteorite, you know, I need to get a meteorite watch in at some point. I've never had one.
Yeah.
So that might be my.
You'll get a Pagani, won't you?
It's already started. We're 5 minutes in. Probably. So, Adrian, with that being said, what are you wearing today? What's
I'm probably a bit predictable, actually. I've just gone through weeks and weeks without wearing any of my own watches. So today I thought I am wearing Samurai, the Blue Whale.
Nice.
There we go.
I've got to say, I love me a Samurai now.
The Blue Whale Mark II.
Yeah, very, very nice. That's the one I had, wasn't it? Did I have that for a short period of time?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I think you had that for review.
The fact it graduates from, is it black to blue, doesn't it? Is that the one? Yeah, that was cool. Like I said, again, like Troy, I do like me a good dial. And that would bring me on to my watch. I'll take it off so you guys can see it properly, because otherwise it doesn't work. Let me see if I can.
Oh, do you know, I was going to wear my Samurai because I know Adrian likes Samurai. I was going to wear a Samurai.
So, guys, so this is the Manta Ray. I'm not going to do it justice because I didn't put my studio lighting on, but it is beautiful. The dial is just incredible, man. Like I've said many times on my videos, I do think Seiko they smash it out of the park with some of their dials, man. Some of their dials,
yeah, they do, yeah.
Different level. Like literally, it's a bit of artistry on the watch. It just looks incredible. And like I said, a bit similar to
that one.
Oh, was that the one you
with the honeycomb?
Oh yeah, the honeycomb one, yeah.
That's nice.
That honeycomb subdial as well is brilliant.
Yeah. At Seiko, I love just their dials, and I love that one, the Manta Ray. And that's the ceramic bezel, isn't it, on that one?
Ceramic, yeah. Mine's the King Samurai. So mine's got the sapphire crystal. The only thing I would probably change on it is I probably would have got the one without the Cyclops. If I was to do it all again, I probably would have gone with the no Cyclops. But that's a subjective thing. Do you know what I mean?
There isn't one in the King Samurai, so without the Cyclops.
I think the day date is. I think you can find one with a day date.
I thought that had a one of those weird torpedo
candy bar
Cyclops.
one, isn't it? It's a longer one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I've seen a couple that have maybe they've been modded. I've seen some online where they.
Yeah, I gotta say somebody might put some heat on it and popped it off.
Yeah, but listen, I've toyed with it. I've toyed with doing it myself, just because I've not. It's okay, but it doesn't magnify very much. I just feel like it's not serving much of a purpose, and I'm not a massive fan of Cyclops anyway. I'd rather them not be there. So, yeah, at some point I probably will get a little bit of a heat on it and probably.
Brave man. just change the crystal out. It'll be safer. Just change the crystal out.
So, guys, this would now what we'll do. We'll start getting onto the questions. So, like I said, we did email you over. So you warned. But let me just get them up because Adrian, do you want to ask yours first? Actually.
Yeah, I mean, my first question, again, I'm being probably Mr. Predictable, but what was the first watch that you got? What was it that started your collection off and your love of watches? And do you still have it?
Still have it here on my left. I show this one off so many times. Where's the camera?
Oh, the Belova.
Yeah.
Interesting.
My Devil Diver.
So that's the one that started it all.
Yeah. I had a few. I started literally at the end of 2019, so I had a few that I bought off eBay and some like vintage Seikos, which were probably Franken watches and stuff, and
specials.
A couple of vintage ones, and then it come to Christmas, and I just said to my other half, I went, I love that watch. Please buy me that watch for Christmas. And I think there was an offer on at the time, which you can pick these ones up. Quite a bit under RRP now. They kind of hover around 250, 300. But at the time, it was the first time I seen it really hover under 300. Obviously, they do other ones like the black and red. They do the green and black. I think they've done a orange one as well, which is a smaller case, which I think was out this year. But yeah, that's the one that started it all, and that was the one where I begged for it for Christmas. And you know what? I don't know if you're like me. I like to, especially now I've got so many. I like to kind of rotate my watches so they don't wear, so they don't scratch, and obviously they're there to be enjoyed. But yeah, I like to keep them pristine, so it doesn't, because it means so much to me. It doesn't get a lot of wrist time at all. But I must wear it. But did you know the Cyclops on that one is actually on the underside? See it? If I just catch the angle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool, man. But the thing is, the only problem with that is if it's not lined up, you can't take it off.
Yeah. But yeah, that's got a really good Cyclops. But yeah, that's the one that started it all. And then obviously the pandemic hit in March. I think we locked down, didn't we? So it was.
So at what point did you kind of admit that you had a problem?
When I had too much time. When I had too much time on my hands, and 8 hours of my day wasn't taken up with work, and I was watching content after content, falling asleep content, falling asleep with my headphones in, listening to podcasts, casting videos onto the big screen, and then just making huge wish lists. Like, I tried to be good this year. 2021, I literally just made myself a list. I wanted an Orient Bambino, I wanted a Spinnaker Bradner, and that was it. I thought, I'm not going to buy any more, and that just fell on its face by the end of January. So that didn't last very long.
To be fair, mate, I've purchased both of those watches this year, the Orient Bambino and the Bradner. And the Orient Bambino is a fantastic watch.
Oh, it's on another level for what you pay.
Mate, for the money, I was saying to Adrian a little while ago when I bought it, because it was a watch that I wanted for probably 2 or 3 years. And for some reason, I kept sort of talking myself out of it. But I eventually got one for £100. And mate, £100 for a dress watch like this, you're not going to spend about £100 on a dress watch, especially for a recognised brand. It's ridiculous. Like, the watch is just, mate, I found myself just staring at it. It was just.
Which one have you got?
I've got the cream dial with the blue hands. I think it's the version 2.
Oh yeah, that's the one I've got here. Yeah, with the Roman numerals.
Yeah. So I didn't want to go for the white. I wanted to go for like the off sort of creamy color. So I thought it looked better. It looked a little bit more sort of, that's a bit of a throwback, because it's a bit of a sort of old-fashioned typey watch.
Yeah, it's such a heavy-hitting watch. It really is. But again, you go, like, when I was watching so much content, everyone was just talking about that watch, and I was like, what is this? But then what put me off, I didn't like the logo, and I was just like, it looks like a cigarette packet. You know, I just didn't. It put me off, and I was being snobby. I was like, I don't want that. And then I just like, I think it came on Amazon special, like 95 quid, and I was like, let's just buy it. If I don't like it, I could send it back. But no, I fell in love with it. I took the strap off straight away. The strap is trash. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible, the strap. But the watch itself is solid. Then I paid over the odds, but I had some vouchers. So I picked up, literally within 3 months of me collecting, SKX, 007, 009.
For both. Normally
I picked both, and didn't realize, obviously, the only thing that was different is the colored bezel, and then looking at all the modding and stuff. So I've got them both. But there, again, I've seen a lot of videos where people look at watches as investments. Now, I didn't buy those specifically for an investment, but I have an idea that thinking, keeping it untouched, unmodded, anything like, not untouched, obviously I wear it, but keeping it unmodded, I do think it will increase in price. I think it's, and I came in just when the Alpinist and the Saab became discontinued as well. So they would have been two, specifically the Saab. I really like that one more than the Alpinist. And I would like to have obviously picked one of those up, but the price is there.
I was just going to say, now it's really hard to justify those prices.
Yeah.
Like, I know they've got a bit of fanfare and they've got a bit of a cult following, but for what you're getting for that watch, I would struggle. I like the look of them as well.
Well, I would probably pick up one of the new Alpinists, more so than obviously the main Alpinist. Like the one that they've done, that new one, which is limited edition with like it's the dial, the blue dial, and it's all like trigonometry on the dial. The new limited edition one.
I think I saw
that.
Was
Have
that
you
on-
not seen it at the Ginza or the Ginza, I think it's called.
Was that
No,
on
I don't think I've seen it.
a little while ago? Like I think it was on someone's channel that I watched that particular watch.
Yeah. I've only just seen it come up on my Facebook and people doing wristwatch checking in like forums and stuff. I don't think I've seen it on you. I haven't really looked for it on YouTube, but yeah, because I just know if I look at it, it'll be bad news. If
It'll be another watch making its way in.
yeah. But I think that's what I do. I buy one of the new Alpinists, the Saab. I don't think that'll ever make it into my collection unless I find one like really, really at a good price.
I scratched that itch with the Rotary Legacy that I bought in a little while ago.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of Rotary Legacy watches, and they're unbelievable for the
Yeah,
price.
you two need to be
Swiss
affiliates or
made
something
ones.
for Rotary. You bring so much Rotary to YouTube because it's not. I don't think it's big, is it? The brand worldwide. I don't think it is.
I think the problem with Rotary is obviously I'll let Adrian get a word in edgeways in a minute. I do apologise, mate, but I think the thing is with Rotary is that I think they make some really nice watches in the money, but they also make some crap. I do like so. Yeah. I think that's the problem they have in terms of the continuity, in terms of consistency. If they can nail that, then I think they'll be they could be a player because they do produce like legacy watches that I got, the GMT that I bought after Adrian borrowed me one. Like they're in my main collection. I love them. They're fantastic watches. I've also had other Rotaries in. I had an Aqua Speed before I even started my channel. I think it featured my channel early on, and it was crap. It wasn't nice at all.
I had the have you seen the one that looks like the Breitling Navitimer one? The three subdials. I had that. That was like before my watch collecting days when I liked watches, and most of my collection was like DKNY and Fossil and stuff like that. But that was my main.
And a Rotary Chronospeed.
Yeah, and so I had that one. I was like, oh, you know what? This is a proper watch brand. This is my proper watch in my collection. But yeah, I kind of got rid of those ones, like as I really started getting into my collections.
Sometimes that's not bad, you know, when you look back at the naive stage of your watch collecting, because you don't really know. You just look at that watch and think that looks nice. You don't really understand. And sometimes I think naivety is actually not a bad thing. Because some people love their watches to death and they're wearing them and they think this is fabulous. Whereas now, it takes a lot to wow me now because I've seen so many watches.
I'm getting to that. Yeah, I'm getting where I'm not enjoying the watches I have because I am rotating so much. Like I had those 3 unboxings that I've just put up on the channel, and I've only worn the Dress KX, which is a phenomenal watch. That is such a good watch. Such a good watch. But yeah, like the Panda Dial Solar hasn't even made it to my wrist this last couple of weeks.
I find, Troy, the thing is for me, I find that I don't wear my own watches not because of the rotation, but because I've got so many watches in for review. So I have to dedicate so much time to those watches. So my own watches, I can go weeks without even wearing them. And I get to a point where I'm just like, listen, I'm down in tools. That's it. I'm wearing my own watches. And I'll go for a couple of weeks where I'm like, sod it. I'm wearing my own watches because I love my own watches. I've got them in my collection for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Because I enjoy wearing them. Like I put this on yesterday and I just felt good. I just felt good about myself. I was like, because do you know what I mean? When they're in your collection, you love your own watches, don't you? So I make a point of every so often. I know Adrian does the same, saying, "Do you know what? Stop this. I'm putting on my watch for a little while, and I'm just going to enjoy it."
Yeah, that was one of the reasons that I got that Tissot PRX in, because it was a watch that I was actually interested in. It wasn't something.
So is that your actual PRX? That's your PRX.
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely watch. I mean, whether it'll stay in the collection or not, I'm not entirely sure. I know that my daughter, if she's out there anywhere listening to or watching this, she'll probably get cross if I say I'm going to sell it. But I'll send it over to Simon so he can have a look at it. If you want to see it as well, Troy, that's fine. I can get Simon to send it on to you. You can have a look at it.
Oh, thank you.
Can't sell it. Straight in there, abs. It's fine. I think your dad. I was told your dad earlier. He's way too scared to part with that watch.
She's watching.
not mess about on the comment. That was straight in there.
That is such. Why would you? It's such a popular watch. It really is such a popular watch. They've done really well with that.
It's beautiful. Like I watched Adrian's video today, And by the way, he did a fantastic job. And like you said, even with your B-roll at the start, mate, it's fantastic. I just wanted to say that. But the thing is that like, I was looking at it and it looks incredible. That bracelet just looks like a piece of workmanship. It just looks.
The bracelet is phenomenal on it, I have to say. Yeah.
But we was also talking. I don't want to upset anyone who's a Tissot fan, but how can they justify such a big price difference from their quartz to the automatic, in terms of, because you're looking at over twice the price in terms of what you're going to pay. And I understand automatics are there's a little bit more engineering that goes in and everything else, but when you could buy at least two of the quartz watch to the automatic, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's double the price, isn't it? I looked at that and I was just like, because they released the quartz first, didn't they, in the UK? Then they released the automatic, and it was just like, what, really? Double the price?
Yeah, that's one thing that I was a little bit unsure about, in terms of, because I'm an automatic man. I do have a couple of quartz watches, and I do like them because obviously they just grab and go. But I do like automatic just because of the engineering that's gone into them and everything else. But I wouldn't spend that much. I wouldn't spend that much on getting an automatic PRX, if I'm honest. It'd probably be another year or two.
What are they like on the secondary market? Are they much?
They hold their value, mate. If you go on eBay,
they do.
They hold their value really well. So I think you're going to really struggle to maybe get it at sort of 20, 30, 40 pound less than retail.
Yeah, even the quartz ones do.
That's why I bought the High Life, the Frederic Constant High Life, because I wanted the integrated style, and I looked at the Tissot and I thought, I've been eyeing the Frederic Constant for such a long time. And then when I went to see it in the shop and I tried it on, I was just like, enough, I can't. COSC certified and everything, and it was on offer. They did like a couple of £100 off, and I was just like, I can't pass up on it. And again, you don't really see them come up on eBay, and I'm sure it should hold its value pretty good.
Mate, that's the time I knew that you loved the nice style, when I looked at that watch, because there's so much going on.
Yeah,
there is so much going on, and it is stunning, mate. That watch, it really
is.
Yeah.
They don't get much love. I find Frederic Constant. I think it's because of their association with Citizen and stuff like that, and being quite new.
I definitely think that they are an overlooked brand. But then again, I mean, they kind of appeal to maybe a particular section, being kind of predominantly dress watches.
Yeah, literally, when I looked at the whole cabinet, it was all like moon phases and stuff like this, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, like there really isn't that much different. Even their smartwatch is a dress watch. You would think if you're doing a smartwatch, you might do it on the sporty side, and I'm just like, they don't really have an identity in becoming a brand for all tastes. But maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they want to be a dress watch brand.
I looked at a couple of Frederic Constants a while ago, and one of my points that I was going to raise was the fact that I think they need to diversify. That was going to be one of the points that I was going to raise. So it's funny that you guys said that, because I looked at a couple before and I was thinking that was going to, because like yourselves, I looked through and I was like, dress watch. And that was going to be a point that, excuse me, that I raised off the bat. That in terms of you got to appeal to the masses, and like myself, I'm a massive dive watch fan. So, and I think a lot of people are the same, just because you can use them in a lot more different situations.
Yeah.
In terms of what you can wear them doing, and a lot of people don't tend to have collections like us in terms of like so many watches. So they might have 1, 2, 3 watches. So one that you can use for multiple situations is ideal.
Yeah, this is the thing with them. If they're doing so many dress watches, obviously, if you're a casual worker in, I don't know, any industry where you don't wear a suit or shirt, you're not really going to buy that watch. And if you do, you're not going to spend, say, over £1,000 on a watch that you're going to wear so little. You'd think, okay, well, I'll just buy a dress watch from a different brand. But if they had a sports brand or a dive style, or more like an everyday style sports watch, and I think more people will probably pick the brand up. But because it's such a niche where it's just, okay, either you can have a dress watch or a dress watch with a moon phase or a dress watch with a GMT, they're all, the undertone is still dress watch. And it is a shame. It is a shame. And I think that's why they do get overlooked. Like, even if you look at the price range they're in, competing with like Longines, I mean, they have a flight watch, they'll have a dive watch. And yeah, I think they've got their niches.
So I think that takes us nicely onto my question. So where do you see your channel in the next 12 months? Where would you like to? If we was had this conversation on the 6th of November 2022, where would you like to see your channel?
I'd like to see consistency. I do admire a lot of the content creators' consistency in the fact that you can put 2-3 videos out a week, and I'd like to be more comfortable, I think, talking about the watch. And like, I'll say for a fact, like, all of my full review videos are scripted, not my unboxings, and that's so I don't want to miss anything on the watch. Like, if I was to review a watch and just go with the flow, I might miss its water resistancy or whether it's a screw down crown, and I feel bad for myself in the fact that I've missed that, and I should be telling my viewers.
But I miss stuff like that, which is why I type it on and put it in.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I was actually thinking of getting one of those, those whiteboards that you draw on and just having it there. Obviously, if you're seeing the watch, you're not going to see me looking at the whiteboard like that. I have, see, we've done on an A4. I was actually thinking of going and getting a full on. Those flip boards, like when you go into meetings and they flip them over, and getting one of those and just having it there, big writing, big bullet points, so I don't miss. I'd like, I don't know, really, just more consistency and being more comfortable, just off the cuff. I think more viewers would be cool, but it's my, like we were discussing earlier, it's kind of an escapism, like. Yeah, I just do it just to.
I think the important thing as far as that goes is to kind of try not to take too much notice of the numbers. I mean, looking at analytics, I've had people message me saying, "Oh, have you checked your analytics for this, that, and the other?" I'm not interested. I'll look at how many subscribers I've got, but it doesn't particularly. That isn't what drives me.
Well, it was like I did the Anning from Winton, and I did a lot of work, a lot of research on that, and I think I'm hovering at like 100 odd views. So I'm looking at it, I think, first of all, I feel bad because the brands trusted me to get that watch out there, and I'm only thinking, really, like 100 odd views just for that watch, and it's a good watch. So there's that sort of element of doubt, thinking, oh, like, will they want to work with me again in the future? And then that sort of negativity just starts to try to fester. But then I just tell myself I had fun doing it. That was a watch that I wore solid because it was my first Swiss loaned into the channel. I was going to be the first to do the video review. I had fun wearing it. I had fun doing the B-roll down the beach and stuff like that, and doing the history.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
If you're having fun doing it, actually, what you're saying about that and views. Once we've finished with this, that actually brings me on to another question.
Adrian, nice segue.
No, keep going. That could go on a bit yet.
Yeah, no, just the channel is, like I said, be more. I think more on the cuff, and I tell you what, I'd like to do more talking head. Like how a lot of people do it in front of the camera. I want to do a lot more of that. And then have more of my personal, because I was talking to Adrian earlier. I was like, I'm on the dining table in the kitchen. It's like that's where I film my content. I would like a set area where I could have more of my personality behind me. So because I've always said my channel is document my journey as well. So something my boy can watch when he's older. I mean, we were watching what's that, Free Guy? Have you seen that film with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of a kid's film. So he's kind of in a video game and stuff like that. But his life is a computer character, and people that are joining the game are actually players going into the game. And there was YouTubers on there, and I said to my boy, I know who they are. He said, how do you know, Dad? I said, because Dad's a YouTuber. Then I did my whole I'm bold, I collect watches, and he pulls my beard because he gets embarrassed. He gets really embarrassed. But yeah, that's again another thing why I do persevere and do the channel, and I buy watches obviously for the love, but then to put on the channel. So I want more of my personality coming across on camera. I want, for example, like TGV. You look at his war room. That's him. I know people say, oh, he's fake. He's not. He's fake aristocrat. Like, I don't think he is. His personality. He loves his movie memorabilia. He's got his movie posters. that's what I like. Like Adrian, he obviously has his music. Matt Stingray, he has his guitars and stuff like that. It shows you're a real person, and people who are watching it, they like you for what you're bringing. So that's what I'd like as well, to bring more my personality into my videos.
Yeah, that's actually a good goal. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I collect like action figures and stuff like that, and that's a part that people don't really know. And it would be like, I can have that or a post, and I like my movies, so you could have, it's and then talk about that within your content as well. And I think that makes the content more interesting, because you're making the watch more personal to you in your reviews as well. So
yeah, I think that's a good, like, because you know what, I said that to Adrian early doors when we started talking, in terms of the one thing I wanted to do was to be able to bring myself out, because I felt like I was really robotic in terms of what I was saying, how I was saying it, and like it takes a little while. I'm still not really 100% there, but like you said, the biggest thing is a journey in it. And I look back at some of my old videos and I cringe, man. Like,
well, you had hair. You had hair. You're starting your next journey without hair. You're joining my club, mate.
But the thing is, I started cringing, like, because I look at, but it's all a journey, and it's all development, it's all improving. And like I said, I spoke to Gary from My Light Watches, and he was saying to me, the aim needs to be just make every video better than the next. Do you know what I mean? Just getting every video better. And as long as you're doing that, you're moving forward. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I try to do. That's what I kind of focus on. And I think that's a great point, actually, in terms of just trying to just keep progressing, bring yourself out as well. Because most of the time, before I started my channel, I subscribed because of the person, if I'm honest. I like the person. I was like, listen, I can get on board with this person. I kind of like the way they come across. And yeah, I think it's important that people can see that, like you said, you're a normal person, you live in a normal life, and you're just doing this daily grind like they are.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Adrian, I didn't mean to sort of interrupt, but you can ask your question.
No. It's good. It's good. We're going back to the microbrand thing, and myself and Simon have had this conversation as well, because microbrands, from a content point of view, the watch is fantastic, generally speaking, but from a content and from a viewership point of view, they don't very often do very well. So, kind of, what is your take on microbrands? As far as kind of quality, like with the ones that you've seen, etc., and Kickstarter campaigns. How do you feel about Kickstarter?
I'm wearing this. Do you know what? It's funny because obviously you sent the question over, and I thought, oh, that's cool, because I'm going to be wearing my first Kickstarter purchase. I have a couple of micro brands. I think when you look at Kickstarter, you can, being an enthusiast of watches, you can tell which ones are going to do well. You can just tell, and you can just look at the ones where you think they've just slapped a logo on just any generic watch and hoping for the best. But then if you want to buy that watch, then obviously buy the watch. But you can tell, you can tell which watches are going to do well. Working with Winton recently, I think that's an advantage the microbrand has. If you want to buy the watch where you got questions about it, like most consumers will probably either A, look at the price, B, look at what the watch looks like. Most enthusiasts want to know how many layers of anti-reflective coating, how many micro adjusts. And instead of trying to look on the website or a spec sheet, which won't have that, you can ask the microbrand owner. And I think that's the advantage a microbrand will always have. And I should imagine a microbrand's goal is to no longer be a microbrand. They want, because it's a business, they obviously want to grow into a established brand.
Do you feel that once a microbrand has had we'll say a successful campaign, and if they want to, they then come to develop like a second watch, how do you feel about if they go back to Kickstarter? Because I know some people don't particularly like that.
I think maybe 1, 2, or 3 watches, then that's absolutely fine. If that's going to continually be your business model, then really, because it's still, you've got to appreciate that the company's taking a risk. The company needs to grow. And if the company are investing in a watch that absolutely falls flat on its face, us as enthusiasts may lose that brand. We have to be realistic. Why would we want to lose the brand? So we should be encouraging these Kickstarter campaigns and not thinking, well, why are you doing your 5th watch now on Kickstarter? I think Yema have just done one on Kickstarter, and I'm really, really surprised. Yeah,
That's
they've done like
surprise.
a vintage, like a dress sports watch.
Okay.
I was going to ask the same thing, sorry, because obviously Axios is in some way connected to Zelos, and Zelos have had quite a few successful watches at this point. I wonder why they keep going back to Kickstarter. I was kind of the same sort of mind where surely once you've done a couple of runs, you should be in a position then to maybe invest in your next one. I don't know.
I think we have to look at the current climate we're in, most definitely, in the fact that, like, I have a small business, and you, in every decision you're making moving forward, you're trying to protect any impact to the business. And I should imagine, as a watch brand, you've got your Zelos. They've got their strategy. They've got their core base. If they're releasing a sister brand, like I said, I probably might own a Zelos, but I'm not overly like thinking, oh, I really want to buy that Zelos watch or this Zelos watch. But then they've released Axios. So as a consumer, obviously, I've looked at Axios and think, I really prefer this brand. Now, if they took that punt and there wasn't people like me thinking, oh, yeah, actually, I prefer this style, then they might release a range of watches and the brand fall on its face.
Is that not the reason you do sort of consumer studies, though? So to try and get a gauge for the audience and stuff?
There is obviously research and development and stuff like that, but it's like Kickstarter is proven. And to be honest, they're going to be spending so much on Kickstarter fees that they could probably have obviously done research and development, but you're getting guaranteed orders. It doesn't matter what research development you're actually doing, they're not going to convert to guaranteed sales. So whether they put that money in Kickstarter fees and do research and development, they're still not confirmed sales. Whereas if you say, okay, here's our stretch goal, they know they're going to be selling 300 watches, 500 watches with zero risk,
For me, I've got to say, when I see brands that I know quite well, and they've released quite a few watches, and I see them on Kickstarter, for me, not as a watch reviewer or nothing, this as a person, I kind of get the feeling that they don't believe in their brand. That's
what I said. Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel sometimes. I look at it and I think, well, if they had such conviction in what they're producing, they would produce it, because obviously they've got collateral from the past watches. So I feel to myself like they mustn't have that belief in what they're producing to go to Kickstarter, because Kickstarter's not guaranteed. A lot of Kickstarters don't get off the ground. A lot of them don't reach goals. Do you understand what I mean? So
no, a lot of them don't even actually make it to the Kickstarter campaign. I've seen so many that they pop up on Instagram and they've got all these renders and the drawings, and they're all, you know,
and that costs money itself.
Super stoked, and nothing happens. They just disappear. See a lot of that.
Like, for example, you could do like Gary from I Like Watches when he did the Exciton. There is that, but he seems to be really hands-on and in the community and stuff like that. Whereas I think with a watch brand, they're a business, and as much as we hate, look at Seiko. Why have they never really looked at misaligned bezels? Because they know people are going to buy it no matter what. They're going to buy it no matter what. And a Kickstarter brand, they can release 4, 5, 6. If anything, they'll get comfortable and think, well, we know we're going to hit it. We're trusted. We know we're going to get these guaranteed sales. And as a consumer, I love it. You get a saving on the RRP. So they're selling themselves short because they're not, like, I looked at the Axios now and what it's costing compared to what I paid. For the sake of waiting 8 months, I've got myself a deal on it.
Well, are they selling on their website? Then are they selling?
They're on their website now. Yeah.
What are they selling at cost? What's the RRP?
$300.
Okay, so that converts to what?
I think it's about about 230, 240.
Yeah, in and around there. Yeah, I see them. They're selling for that on eBay at the moment as well.
Yeah.
I think certain people must have bought it trying to flip it, which is fine. Well, obviously that's a massive part of it as well, isn't it, in terms of an investment and send it on. And like I said, I do like the Axios, and actually I quite like Zelos. So I bought a Zelos Hammerhead, the version 3, and it was nice. It was a nice watch, but a little bit too big for my wrist, so I didn't it. So it kind of goes with what you're saying in terms of, I think the Swordfish is a little bit more in keeping with sort of average size wrist because they come in at 40 mil. But yeah, generally the Zelos is a little bit bigger, so that's probably the issue for a lot of people. But yeah, like I say, I don't want to upset anybody, but I do feel like sometimes when I look at brands that I know really well and I see them on Kickstarter as other people probably do, and I feel like, what are you doing on Kickstarter? What like I thought Kickstarter was to kickstart your company.
That's the idea. Yeah,
kind of what I thought it was for, and I feel like sometimes in terms of the spirit of what is being used for, maybe isn't in the spirit of what it was invented for or made for. Does that make sense? So
yeah, I get that.
That's kind of,
like I said, I'm kind of scratching my head with the fact that Yema are doing theirs.
Saying I didn't know that, man. I've got to say I
didn't. Because that's a surprise.
I would have probably fell off my chair if I saw a company like Yema on Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be completely getting it wrong, but I'm almost 99.9% sure because I'm on their mailing list.
That's okay. We're all going to go. We're all going to go and Google this once this is done.
Google it. Go on.
Literally,
go on to the Yema site.
Google solves all my problems. The only problem is sometimes it proves you wrong, which is a bit of a problem. So Yema, we're saying Yema's on Kickstarter. Is that what we're saying? Is that our final?
Or they're gonna be launching. Go on to their Facebook, Yema Facebook, because that's where I've seen it. So they might not be on Kickstarter yet, but they might be launching on Kickstarter.
I think this man's right. You know.
Cool.
Drum roll. I could be wrong.
He was right.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the old one. That's the old one. That one's been funded.
There's another one.
There's a new one.
Done more than one.
Yeah, that was the one they released last year, or sometime this year. The Bronze Diver.
This one got funded a few days ago.
No, that's definitely not the watches. That's definitely not the watches that are on Kickstarter.
So they're habitual Kickstarter users that are. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I know they were doing. But if you have a look at their sale, they currently got those Bronze Divers in the sale as well. But
okay, yeah, it's on Kickstarter.
There should be 3 watches. I remember the picture of 3.
It goes live on Kickstarter in sort of 9 days.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, the thing is, this is kind of like, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but the thing is, this is exactly the kind of thing I was kind of talking about before. Is that a company like Yema, for me, they could look like a fantastic deal, but I'd be hesitant based upon the fact that they're so recognized. They're so sort of.
They're an established brand, aren't they?
Yeah. Like I would be thinking to myself, why on earth are you doing this? Like for me, it doesn't make any sense.
They get a Rolex on Kickstarter.
They're not kickstarting their business. They're sort of established at this point. Once you've had a few runs and you've produced a few watches,
this is where I think they can get into production and get guaranteed numbers. It has to be that view that they're going to get guaranteed sales, guaranteed numbers.
But that's the thing, though, mate. Are they not convinced by their product then? Where does it?
I don't think a lot of people are. If you read any Yema reviews, content, and you read the comments, customer service is terrible. Everything.
That's customer service. You're not talking about the product. All you do when you sort out customer service is you sort out your staff, didn't you? Like, because the customer service, they're the forward-facing people.
But you shouldn't have to contact I've not contacted customer service on any of my watches because they're decent watches. You need to sort your product out first, then your customer.
But Troy, the thing is, that's because you're too nice. There's going to be people that'll ring up and say, "Listen, my outer box was damaged. It had."
Oh yeah.
You're going to get this. You are going to get people. Like, as soon as you deal with the public, as you know.
Are you having a pop at me for something I sold on eBay with a damaged box?
I don't like to talk about it. But you understand what I mean? As soon as you're dealing with the public, you leave yourself open to sort of random stuff. And the thing is, from what I understand, that's what I was going to say. Yema, I've not had one in. I'm sure I will get one in. And they seem to make decent watches. But the one thing that they've become notorious for, which is kind of the flip side to Zelos, is their customer service, where Zelos are known to have fantastic customer service. Yema is completely the other way. They're known to have really bad customer service, which is something that's sort of gone around in the watch community. And as soon as you get there, how do you sort of flip that on his head and become better? You understand what I mean? Because now, if we know, there's going to be lots of other people that have that impression. I've not dealt with them, but I've
not dealt with them, but I've been put off buying one.
But because of
Boulder was another one, wasn't it? With poor customer service.
I've only heard that from one person, so I can't. I haven't had it on good authority.
I don't know. I've never dealt with them.
I've heard 2 or 3 people say that they've had problems with them.
Okay, yeah, I've not had a boulder in, and there's a couple of their watches that I like, so I would not comment. But yeah, like I say, for me, I just got to be honest. When I see certain brands that are still on Kickstarter after having multiple successful watches, watches that look really cool, I do wonder to myself why they're still on there. I don't understand. So yeah, that my advice to certain, because the thing is, you do get to a point. I digress with San Martin. This is a brand that I do think is outgrown AliExpress. I do think they've got to the point where they need to sort of venture out and become their own entity, because it's kind of hindering their progress as well. And I think they would do well to become sort of like their own sort of micro brand rather than being an AliExpress special.
Yeah, they could be viewed as a Chinese micro brand, and I think they do. But then they'd have to move away, I think, from that whole homage model to be.
I think, but they are. If you see some of their latest productions they're producing, they are producing more original designs. But the problem is that as soon as they're tired of AliExpress, no offense to AliExpress, they're going to be tired of a different type of brush because of the type of watches you get on AliExpress. I think as soon as you get to a certain point, you do well to move away and get yourself more established, get your own website and sort of. But the problem is having that belief in what you're doing, isn't it? Again, because ultimately AliExpress guarantees sales because people use the platform. But as soon as you go to your own platform, it may not guarantee the same sales.
But even if they were to do, I don't know, like for example, maybe going on Amazon, having an Amazon store and brand taking those baby steps into fully launching as an independent brand.
That's a great option, to be honest, because it's not difficult to get a store on Amazon. Not in terms of other things you could do. So I think that'd be a fantastic.
Yeah, because you can get it all fulfilled by Amazon, so they can have warehouses shipping their product globally, and we'll get it next day on Prime, and sales will go up.
Yeah. I don't see that they're I don't know. I've tried saying the same thing to them, but I don't know if it's going to fall on deaf ears.
I've never even handled one. They do look good. Good.
Honestly, you've probably heard me sort of wax lyrical many times about a San Martin. Don't get me wrong, they're not all winners, but no brand is. Do you know what I mean? You can't tell me you're going to buy a sub £500 watch and everyone is going to be immaculate, because they're not. Because you might get QC issues and stuff. But with San Martin watches, honestly, they're good. They've always been decent since I've been collecting watches. But the last 12, 18, 24 months, they're definitely increasing the value, but then they are increasing in price. So, I mean, it's probably relative.
I was certainly surprised when I saw Simon's sub. You sent me the bronze one as well. I wasn't too keen on that. That had a few issues that I was actually surprised about, having seen how good Simon's other one was, and it was really good, really good. I think there's a few brands on there that could do with kind of trying to move away a little bit. Kronos is another one.
I do have a Proxima, and the Proxima's very good, and I think they do have a website.
A unicorn watch.
I had it kind of pre-unicorn.
I was going to say, you haven't got a unicorn on the dial, have you?
No.
My guy, I was going to be so disappointed, Troy. I'm not going
to. I liked. They did the teal diver with the teal dial. Yeah. I really like that, but then it's got the unicorn's head on it, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Do you know what? I've spoken to them so many times, and I've said to them that this is subjective again, guys. Don't crucify me, but as a grown man, I'm not going to have a unicorn on my watch. It's just not a thing. So, and the woman said to me, I think her name was Joy. I think she said to me,
Joy.
Yeah, she said to me, "Oh yeah, but my daughter loves it." I said, "That's fantastic. I appreciate what you're saying. Like she probably would love unicorns. Both of my daughters love unicorns. But if I was producing watches for men, I wouldn't get advice off my daughters. It's not going to translate.
Yeah, they're not watch. They don't know. Her daughter's obviously not going to be a watch wearer.
The thing is, bearing in mind, like, if you've got kids, I've got 3 kids. I'm probably going to listen to them. Do you know what I mean? Because I love my kids. But it's probably not going to lead me down the path I need to be going down in terms of I'm producing a watch. Because I've said to them many times, and I don't know if you know. Do you know Z from The Watcher?
I've seen his content. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I was talking to him before, and even he said he's had numerous conversations saying to them, take the bloody unicorn off the dial, take it off everything. It's not working. Like Proxima, it's okay in the grand scheme of things compared to some of the other names that are on AliExpress and stuff.
I can live with Proxima.
Yeah, it's not offensive. It's not really that offensive. You can sort of live with it. Do you know what I mean?
It's not. You aren't going to laugh at it.
But the thing is, a unicorn, I could love the watch, but a unicorn on the dial, I'm not having it. I'm not.
But what do they call it? They call it a unidiver. So even if they just called the watch the unidiver and got rid of the unicorn,
yeah, that's compromise.
Yeah,
that's compromise. Yeah, I could go for that, but they're not having it, mate. I've spoke to them. They even sent me a silicone strap to review, and I said to them,
have you seen their old logo?
No, I've only seen it with script writing. What was the logo before?
It is like mountains. You have to Google it. I don't think I can get there. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's all right.
See, that's inoffensive. I don't know why that's related to Proxima, but I mean, it would work. It's not.
I think it's a PR and an M, because I've been typing up my review for this one. I still have nowhere near finished it, but that's looking at the dial and the font and the logo, and I'm trying to work out what is it.
In terms of like, yeah. Okay.
I think that's what it's like. And then they've got this I don't know, unicorns on a watch. It's
like I said, the thing is that I could be completely off kilter, and I've had some comments and people messaging me before saying, no, you can't say that. Unicorns are fine. I'm like, unicorns are fine.
Yeah, but you're not going to put a troll on a dress watch, are you? You're not going to call it troll dress. So I call it a unidiver.
I like a nice watch, but I don't want Barbie on the dial either. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all relative, isn't it? And the thing is, I was trying to say this to them, but yeah, it wasn't going down very well. But let me go to my question before I digress. So the final question is for me. In 2021, what pleasantly surprised you? I think I know based on what you said, but I could be wrong.
Well, I did think about this one loads, and obviously I got to say the Axios. I mean, I'm just blown away for the value for the money, and just what you get with the watch. It's just phenomenal. I haven't really had a specced out watch because I'm a Seiko guy. I will probably have hard legs and stuff like that. I haven't really ever been like, oh yeah, that's got milled clasp or that's got solid ending. I have never really been that sort of person to want all those boxes ticked before I buy a watch. But this ticks all those boxes, so I can see the fascination in having things done and to spec with so many specs and done well. But I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have to say a brand, and I think Seiko. I think Seiko in 2021 have turned the corner. I really do, because I collected in 2020. And I've noticed in the year how they've changed as a business in the direction they're going. So the alpinists, they know like this is a popular watch. We'll give you a white dial. We'll give you. I mean, they get criticized for the limited editions. Yeah, granted, they do need to sort that out. But just making a different range of alpinists, and like I've got a couple of Presages and the cocktail times, and they're just phenomenal dress watches for the money you get. Prospects like the Samurai going up a level to King Samurai. I just think they've had a really good year. I think they've founded it.
I'm not sorry to interrupt. I'm not going to lie. I'm so shocked that Seiko was the brand. I was like, when you said Seiko, I was like, what? Like, because the thing is, it's all subjective, and the thing is, it's so cool. This is why we do lives, because it's so cool to talk to people and hear different opinions and stuff. For me, I've got to say, I do think that Seiko have become like I said, you're talking about Presage. If you take away the dial from that Presage, I don't think it's for me. I've got one. I've got the Negroni. Without the dial, I don't think it's anything special, if I'm honest.
Yeah. But we're only looking at specs. We're looking at specs. I've got to look at it from the fact of how much joy the watch will bring. And
but that's subjective anyway, isn't it? How much joy a watch brings to somebody is I mean, what you like, I'm not necessarily. I mean, I don't like the Alpinist. Never have. When it first appeared, a friend of mine got one, and he went, "Look at this," and oh yeah, it's green. I didn't get it.
I think like even I think Mark at Long Island Watch is saying, because obviously he retails them, and he's saying they're cutting out the grey market. So I think what you're getting now is a watch brand that you're actually appreciating because it's not getting heavily discounted on the grey market. So when you buy the prospects, you're paying the price of the prospects. And I've noticed, because I do like the prospects range, and more specifically the Samurai, and look at the direction the Samurai's taken in the last 12 months. Look at the Presages from last year to 2019 to where they are now with the dials, like the Negroni. I've got the Mockingbird, and you just look at I think they're moving in the right direction. And I'm not a Seiko fanboy, even though I've got 2 boxes of Seikos. It's but I just think going back
I do think that there are things that they still need to sort out. They need to, certainly on a watch that's kind of £300 and upwards, they need to get rid of that hateful pressed clasp. And they need to go to milled. I'm not so worried about the sapphire crystal. We have Mr. Sapphire Snob.
No, here. I agree. If you've got to have one thing in there, it has to be sapphire. I'd much rather have a sapphire than a milled clasp.
For what reason?
I just don't want it scratched, because I just don't.
A sapphire will shatter before it. If you wouldn't you rather scratch a crystal and still have your watch intact than smash your crystal to smithereens?
I don't put my watches in situations. I've got a watch.
So that's what I'm saying. So therefore, a hardlex crystal wouldn't make any difference. I would rather have a milled clasp than a sapphire crystal. Not that I dislike sapphire crystal, because I think watches with a sapphire crystal are fantastic. They're great. Ideally, they should all have them on. But I don't think that there is anything particularly for and against between the two, because they've both got good points, both got bad points.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would I'd go with sapphire crystal, wouldn't I? Because
really?
But I think the thing is with also with the sort of adaptations you make to the watch or modding or whatever, changing the clasp is easy peasy, isn't it? In terms of changing the crystal, there's a lot more involved in terms of sort of dismantling the watch, having to press the crystal out, put it back in, make sure nothing gets.
It's like if you put your watch in for a service. When you go in, and you probably would say, "Oh, can I change the crystal because the crystal's scratched?" You wouldn't really go and say, "Oh, I want to change it from a pressed to a milled clasp." So it's I'm with Simon.
You have to pay to have it done.
It's the crystal. It has to be. I'm with him on this. It has to be sapphire crystal. It has to be.
Am I being thrown under the bus?
No. Look, I own 2 boxes of Seiko, and only one has sapphire. Only one has sapphire.
Adrian, it's fine to be wrong, mate. It's not a problem.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I've got Seikos, and they're all hardlex apart from that solar with sapphire, and it's not, to me, it's not the biggest selling point. Like, for me, it's I don't know, there's. I don't really go for spec. I can understand that. Obviously,
I think with Seiko, you in some ways we go for the heritage.
Yeah, there's the heritage, most definitely the heritage, and I just think what they offer, diversity. We were talking about Frederic Constant. Seiko have the diversity, and they're affordable. I mean, we could go like AliExpress, but you pick 20%, and the rest on AliExpress is terrible. Yeah. You've only got a small percentage.
That's why there's such a call for reviews of AliExpress watches, because people don't want to buy the duds, because they know ultimately there is a lot of crap on there.
I mean, I've been all right with my I got 4 of the divers. Oh, sorry, 3 of the divers, and they're, for what you get, they're great, but the finishing, they're a little bit sharp around the clasp. What's that?
So sorry, what watches are you talking about?
That
You got a bunch of Paganis, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of the brands on AliExpress. I think especially Pagani Design. I think they're sort of produce as quick as possible without the door. I think that's the problem with Pagani Design, and I think you could get lucky and you could get a right little gem.
Yeah, like I think I got one, and I think the Cyclops is slightly lopsided. That one, I think the Cyclops is lopsided. But do you know what? I bought those because I thought, let's see what the fuss is about, and they were like 60 quid or thereabout.
You did like a mass unboxing, didn't you? I remember.
Yeah, all four of them. I was like, right, okay. And I kind of lost my way because I was going to do like the sizes and specs. I was like, wow, these are actually really good for the money. And I just started waffling. But yeah, I think what's 60 quid for. So I've got the watches that give you the sapphire crystal and everything like that for the cheap money. And yeah, they I think they have a place in the market. I think every watch has a place in the market, apart from Fake.
Yeah, of course. It goes back to what you were saying a minute ago. I think it goes back to what a watch makes you feel, doesn't it? In terms of how you feel wearing it. And it's like what I was saying earlier in terms of I love going back to my own watches. There's nothing like it in terms of. So don't get me wrong. Some watches that come in I keep, but it's rare. It's very rare that I kind of, because I keep my collection at a certain size. So if I bring one in, I get rid of one. So I don't just let it sort of. I have to build an extension.
Yeah, I'm trying that. That's just not working. It's not working.
I saw your picture on Instagram. There's like 100 watches on your table. I thought
I think I'm over 60.
Yeah, they look like
how many? 60.
60, yeah. Over 60.
Yeah. That's just this year.
No, 2019. I collected end of 2019. I think I got about 3 or 4 in the collection that are like but they're like sentimental ones and things I got bought as presents.
In 2 years, you've gained all those watches.
Yeah. The idea was to sell and experience some, but yeah, I've kind of bought way too many. No, and in fairness, I have been given 3 of them by watch, and I still haven't done reviews. That's terrible. I really need to. That's what I mean. I really need to do my video reviews instead of being so critical. But so yeah, so 3 of them I've been gifted.
This is the sort of time that I would say to anyone, if you've got a question, but the comment section has been completely quiet. Apart from
it's bonfire weekend, I was thinking my dog's gonna bark. Everyone's probably looking at fireworks, or I'm just really
Saturday night and everybody's down the fireworks. We didn't think of this.
Yeah, things through a little bit better. And I'm gonna go outside and watch some fireworks. So, guys, very quickly, if there's anyone that has got any questions, please do pop them in the comment section, and we'll get them addressed. If not, we will give it a few minutes and we'll let Troy go back to living his life.
Saturday. I wasn't gonna.
We actually need to give Troy the floor, really, and tell us where to find you, your Instagram, your YouTube, and all the rest of it, and just let everybody know how to contact you and watch your content.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube. If you've been watching this, obviously you've heard I do reviews. So it's the Bold Watch Collector, and on Instagram, same again, the Bold Watch Collector. I don't have to tell you why I'm called the Bold Watch Collector. Just go onto Instagram, you'll see my watches and you'll see my hairstyle. Simon's going to be the fake Bold Watch Collector.
Yes, he is.
I'm telling him he needs to pick it. Get the bic on it. He can join the club.
I'm probably not far off, mate, to be honest.
So yeah, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. But yeah, no one in the comments. Everyone's watching fireworks. So,
but yeah, to be honest with you, it was just nice to catch up, mate. If I'm honest, it was nice to touch base with you, see what's been going on. Congratulate you on getting married. Have you got used to wearing the wedding ring? Because that took me a little bit, because I don't wear jewelry, so wearing a ring was a little bit of a difference for me.
Yeah, like going back to what we were saying about sapphire crystal. I've had my ring, and it's really scratched already, and it's only been a month, and I look after my watches better than my ring. So there we go. No, but you're grabbing stuff and it, so yeah, I'm used to it. But when I've been doing the reviews, I've done not reviews, but I've done a couple of unboxings, and I've caught a glimpse of it, and that feels weird. Is
that wedding ring? Is that one of those titanium ones?
No, it's a platinum one.
Platinum, all right.
Yeah, and I kind of wish I went for titanium. A friend of mine's got titanium, and he said it's absolutely amazing, but it's just.
Yeah, I've got titanium. It does scratch, but
really?
it's easy. Yeah, but well, titanium does anyway. It's quite scratchable. But it's ever so easy on a bit of Scotch-Brite every now and again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like some Cape Cod and stuff. Like I've never really done anything like buffing my own watches, but I might do that and the ring at the same time. But yeah, I look after my watch more than my ring.
Cape Cod is amazing. I love Cape Cod.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I've never used it. I've seen a lot of people say about Cape Cod.
Honestly, it's a bit of kit.
It's
softly on your fingers. It don't feel none too clever. But
it's like Brasso. You know, I've had that Brasso stuff where it's like on a sheet and you're cleaning with the Brasso.
Yeah, like even after you wash your hands 2 or 3 times, you feel like you can still feel it. But it does the business in terms of getting out scratches. I've got out some real deep scratches on some of my watches before.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You've had to work at it, but it comes out, and I'd recommend it to anybody. So, but anyway, guys, I'm guessing that no one's got any questions. Everyone's laughing at me in my flat hat. So listen, thank you for your time, and more than anything, Troy, thank you for giving up a bit of your time on this Saturday.
No worries. Thank you for having me and for the invite. Appreciate it.
Be outside watching fireworks. So well, I'll give you both the floor, and then we'll close things up then.
Yeah, again, just to say thanks, Troy, for giving up your time. Even though we've got no questions in the comments here, what you'll probably find is, because this will go up onto Simon's channel, that's where you'll get the comments, because in a couple of days' time, that's when the people will start watching the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then they'll start asking us questions. Can you ask Troy?
Yeah, how are we supposed to remember that?
You have to get me in for a part 2. I'm up for a part 2. Don't make it Christmas Eve or anything like that. That's all.
We'll wait till your wedding anniversary or something like that. Yeah.
That sounds like more an occasion that needs celebrating, and we can have a little talk about it.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Well.
So, Troy, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thank you for having me on, and obviously I'll just check the video out in a few days, check the comments, and check back if there is obviously any questions. 2 top blokes. I want to wish all the best with your channels. Congratulations, Adrian, for hitting 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. So so just keep
up, mate. You'll be there soon.
By the way, I got contacted. The guy who won the Satina. He's now got that.
Oh, it's arrived. Yeah. Where do you go?
A guy called Osama. He lives in Pakistan, but his family live in Slough.
Check that out. You don't have to spend loads of money on postage. I did the trend him, the David Tide, and gentleman was, I think he was Nigeria, but he said, "Oh, I've got family in America," and obviously he said about the customs and stuff would be stupid money for Nigeria. Send it to America. It was like a tenner, and I was just, it's not too bad. I don't know how much it would have been to Nigeria, but I wasn't fortunate enough to be able to just drop it off to Slough.
I've done a few giveaways at this point now. I've actually done. I've come out okay in terms of the postage and stuff. I'm sure that will change moving forward.
Yeah, I've been lucky so far. I think I've done 3, and they've all been posted.
I don't mind. I don't mind if it went into big money, because obviously you got to cover the cost of the watch. Then I probably would be thinking, okay, if it's a more expensive watch like the Satina, I can imagine you'd have to put the value quite high, which would then mean his customs is going to be big. His customs is going to be huge.
It depends if you. I know that we were talking to Mark from Long Island about it, and he said he never insures his watches in the post.
Wow.
He said because the amount of times that you lose one or something goes wrong is minimal. So you'd rather keep the cost of the postage down. But I mean, again, it's a risky take, isn't it? I mean, you put the value down of a 300 quid watch at 50 quid to keep the postage down. You can do that, but obviously, if you get burned, you're going to lose it.
I think the thing is, if you're sending out as many as Mark is, then it's probably worth the risk.
Yeah, probably.
Ones that will go missing.
Because he'd have to insure them, and then, like I said, with the customs, it's like. I had the customs of this £48. It was like, but then like I worked it out, it was like still I think the same price as if I buy it now in the sale. If that makes sense, it'd be like $230, but it was $230 all in. So basically, it was like the customs getting paid for. And I think that's where we dib out a bit is customs.
Yeah.
AliExpress as well now. So you guys, I know. No, I don't think you do many AliExpress, do you, Adrian?
To be fair, most of the AliExpress stuff I've had has been sent to me by Simon, so he pays that.
20% now, isn't it?
I love the way I'm getting blamed, but he has more steel dives than steel dive at the moment, so I'm not.
I have just ordered a steel dive from Steel Dive UK.
Yeah,
I think you had the Sumo, didn't you? That was from Steel Dive UK.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I've just ordered another one. Not another Sumo.
I loved your thumbnail as well. That thumbnail was
the thumbnail. I was going to comment about the thumbnail with the Sumo in the water.
He didn't look like he could swim. I'm not going to lie. He didn't look like.
Don't ask me how I found that picture.
Yeah, check his search history.
But listen, guys, thank you for tuning back in. We'll be back next month. We'll be on Adrian's channel. You can find us on all of our YouTube channels and obviously Instagrams and stuff. You'll find us the first Saturday of December to wish you Christmas greetings, because obviously January is going to be after Christmas. But thank you for tuning back in. And
we've got Jason from Watch Rolling in December.
Oh, there we go. Because I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot.
You'd forgotten.
But guys, thank you for tuning back in, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys. All the best.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.